Imagine, if you will, that your life is not a single fixed timeline, but rather an infinite tapestry of potential realities, all existing simultaneously. You, my beloved, are the master weaver of this tapestry, constantly moving between these realities with each thought, each belief, and each assumption you hold to be true. But how can you know when you have shifted? How can you recognize that you are now experiencing a different version of your world? The first sign, and perhaps the most profound, is a sudden and inexplicable shift in your emotional state. You may find yourself feeling lighter, more joyful, more at peace with the world around you. This is not mere coincidence or a fleeting mood. It is a reflection of the new reality you have stepped into. In this new world, the very fabric of your being resonates at a higher frequency, attuned to the infinite love and abundance that is your true nature. Consider for a moment the times when you've experienced a sudden uplift in your mood, a sense of optimism that seemed to come from nowhere. This, my dear friends, is not random. It is a clear indication that you have shifted your consciousness to a reality where joy and positivity are your natural state of being. You have, in essence, tuned yourself to a different station on the cosmic radio, one that broadcasts endless possibilities and fulfilled desires. But the signs of your shift go beyond mere emotions. Look around you, observe the world with new eyes, and you will begin to notice subtle changes in your environment. Perhaps you find that traffic lights turn green just as you approach, or that you consistently find the perfect parking spot. These are not mere coincidences. They are manifestations of your new reality, one in which the universe conspires in your favor, smoothing your path and aligning circumstances to your benefit. In this new reality, you may also notice that your relationships begin to transform. People who once irritated you now seem more tolerable, even pleasant. Conflicts that once seemed insurmountable now resolve themselves with surprising ease. This is because in this new world you are vibrating at a frequency of love and understanding, and the people around you cannot help but respond in kind. You have shifted to a reality where harmony and mutual respect are the norm, not the exception. Your physical body, too, provides evidence of your shift. You may find that chronic ailments begin to ease, that you have more energy, that you sleep more soundly. This is because in your new reality, health and vitality are your natural state. Your body is simply aligning itself with the perfection that you have always been, that you have now allowed yourself to experience. Another compelling sign of your shift is a newfound sense of synchronicity in your life. You may find that you think of someone, only to have them call you moments later. Or you may come across exactly the information you need, precisely when you need it. These synchronicities are not mere chance. They are the universe responding to your thoughts and desires, confirming that you are in perfect alignment with your true self. In this new reality, you may also notice a shift in your perception of time. Days may seem to flow more smoothly, without the usual sense of rush or urgency. You accomplish more, yet feel less stressed. This is because you have shifted to a reality where time is abundant, where you are always in the right place at the right time, effortlessly achieving your goals and fulfilling your desires. Your dreams, too, may become more vivid, more meaningful. You may find yourself having prophetic dreams, or waking with solutions to problems that had previously baffled you. This is because in your new reality, the veil between your conscious and subconscious mind has thinned, allowing you greater access to the infinite wisdom that resides within you. One of the most telling signs that you have shifted realities is a newfound sense of purpose and direction in your life. Goals that once seemed unattainable now feel within reach. You may find yourself taking inspired action, moving confidently towards your desires without doubt or fear. This is because in your new reality, You are fully aligned with your true purpose, and the universe conspires to support you in every way. But perhaps the most profound sign of all is a shift in your sense of self. You may find that you no longer identify solely with your physical body or your personal history. Instead, you begin to recognize yourself as a vast, infinite being capable of creating any reality you choose. This expanded sense of self is the true you, the eternal you now fully expressed in your everyday experience. My dear friends, these signs are not meant to be a checklist, something to anxiously monitor or force into being. They are natural expressions of your true state, glimpses of the infinite potential that you are. The very fact that you are hearing these words, contemplating these ideas, is itself a sign that you have already begun to shift. But you may ask, how can I consciously create these shifts? How can I move myself into these new, more desirable realities? The answer, my beloved, is simpler than you might imagine. It lies in the power of your imagination and your unwavering faith in the reality of your desires. To shift realities, you must first understand that your imagination is not a fantasy, not a mere daydream, but the very substance of reality itself. When you imagine a desired state, you are not creating something new, but rather tuning into a reality that already exists. Your task is simply to accept it, to feel its truth, to live from that state here and now. Begin by choosing a desire, something you wish to experience in your reality. It could be anything: perfect health, a loving relationship, abundant wealth, or a sense of deep inner peace. Now close your eyes and imagine that this desire is already fulfilled. See it, feel it, taste it, touch it in your mind's eye. Make it as real and as vivid as you possibly can. But do not stop there. The key to shifting realities is to persist in this imaginal act. You must live from the state of your wish fulfilled, not just for a moment or an hour, but consistently, persistently, until it becomes your dominant feeling state. This is what I mean when I say assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must become feeling the person you would be if your desire were already a fact. As you persist in this state, you will begin to notice the signs we have discussed. Your emotions will shift, your outer world will respond, synchronicities will abound. These are all confirmations that you are indeed experiencing a new reality. But do not become attached to these signs or anxiously await them. Your only task is to persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, to live as if your desires are already a fact. Remember, my dear friends, that time is no barrier in the realm of imagination. In your imagination, you can be and have anything you desire instantly. There is no waiting, no process of becoming. In the moment you truly accept and feel the reality of your imagined state, you have shifted. The outer world may take time to reflect this shift, but make no mistake. The shift has occurred the moment you accepted it as real. Now, some of you may be wondering about the mechanics of this process. How can simply imagining and feeling create such profound shifts in reality? The answer lies in the nature of consciousness itself. You are not a physical being having occasional spiritual experiences. You are an infinite spiritual being having a temporary physical experience. Your consciousness, your awareness, is the one and only reality. Everything you perceive as out there is really occurring within you. The entire universe exists within your consciousness. When you shift your consciousness through imagination and feeling, you are quite literally shifting the entire universe. This is why your outer world invariably conforms to your inner assumptions. It has no choice. It is not separate from you. It is you, extended in space and time. When you grasp this truth, when you truly understand that there is no out there separate from your consciousness, you will understand the true power you wield in every moment. But my beloved, do not let this power frighten you or overwhelm you. It is your natural state, your birthright. You have been wielding this power along, creating your reality in every moment. The only difference now is that you are becoming conscious of the process, learning to direct it deliberately rather than unconsciously. As you begin to consciously shift your reality, you may encounter doubts or fears. Old beliefs and habits of thought may resist the new state you are attempting to assume. This is natural and to be expected. Remember, these doubts and fears are not obstacles to be overcome, but simply parts of the old reality you are leaving behind. When doubts arise, do not fight them or try to push them away. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Your persistence in the new state will eventually dissolve these doubts, just as the sun inevitably disperses the morning mist. It's important to understand that shifting realities is not about forcing change or struggling against your current circumstances. It is about allowing yourself to be who you truly are, to experience the abundance and joy that is your natural state. You are not creating something new, but rather allowing your true self to express itself more fully in your experience. As you continue to practice living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you may find that your desires themselves begin to change. What once seemed important may no longer hold the same appeal. This too is a sign of your shift. As you align more closely with your true self, your desires naturally evolve to reflect your expanding consciousness. My dear friends, the process of shifting realities is not a one-time event, but a continuous unfolding. Each shift opens up new possibilities, new potentials to explore. You are on an eternal journey of self-discovery and self-expression, constantly expanding and evolving. But remember, there is no ultimate destination, no final reality to reach. Each reality is perfect and complete in itself, a full expression of some aspect of your infinite being. Your task is not to reach some imagined perfect state, but to fully enjoy and appreciate each reality you experience, knowing that you have the power to shift at any moment. As you become more adept at consciously shifting realities, you may find that the very nature of your experience begins to change. The boundaries between different realities may begin to blur. You may have moments of expanded awareness where you can sense multiple realities simultaneously, understanding how they all fit together in the grand tapestry of existence. This expanded awareness can be both exhilarating and challenging. You may find yourself navigating between different versions of reality with increasing ease, but also with a growing sense of responsibility. For with great power comes great responsibility, and the power to consciously create your reality is the greatest power of all. But do not let this responsibility weigh you down. Remember that you are always supported, always guided by your higher self, by the infinite intelligence that is your true nature. Trust in this guidance, listen to your intuition, and you will always be led to the reality that serves your highest good and the highest good of all. As you continue to shift and expand your consciousness, you may also find that your sense of identity begins to change. The you that you thought you were, defined by your personal history, your physical attributes, your social roles, begins to feel less solid, less real. Instead, you begin to identify more with the awareness that observes all these things, the unchanging consciousness that persists through all your shifts and changes. This expanding sense of self is not a loss, but a tremendous gain. You are not losing yourself, but rather discovering your true self, the infinite, eternal being that you have always been. As you embrace this larger identity, you will find a deep sense of peace and security that nothing in the external world can shake. From this expanded state of awareness, you begin to see that all the different realities you experience are like waves on the ocean of your consciousness. Each wave is unique and beautiful, but none of them define or limit the ocean itself. You are that ocean, vast, deep, and infinitely creative. As you navigate through these different realities, you may find that your purpose begins to shift as well. Where once you may have been focused on personal gain or achievement, you may now feel called to serve others, to help them awaken to their own power to create reality. For as you shift and expand, you naturally lift others around you, inspiring them by your example. But remember, my dear friends, that even this desire to serve is just another experience, another reality to explore. Do not become attached to it or make it into a burden. Allow it to flow through naturally as an expression of your expanding love and awareness. As we near the end of our time together, I want to remind you that the site was discussed, the emotional shifts, the synchronicities, the changes in your outer world are not the goal. They are simply signposts, confirmations of the inner shift that has already occurred. The true shift happens within, in the quiet sanctuary of your own consciousness. Your task, your joy, your privilege is simply to be aware, to watch with wonder and gratitude as your reality unfolds, knowing that it is all a reflection of your own magnificent, infinite being. Whether you experience what you consider positive or negative circumstances, know that it is all you, all an expression of some aspect of your consciousness. Embrace it all. Learn from it all. Enjoy it all. For in the end, this is why you are here. Not to reach some final perfect state, but to experience the joy of creating, the thrill of exploration, the wonder of discovering yourself anew in each moment. My beloved, you leave here today, know that you have already shifted. The very fact that you have heard and contemplated these ideas is proof that you are no longer the same person you were when you arrived. You have expanded, you have grown, you have shifted to a new level of awareness. Go forth now and live from this new awareness. Allow yourself to be surprised and delighted by the new reality that unfolds around you. Trust in your power to shift at any moment, to create anew in every instant. For you are the operant power, the one and only creator of your experience. Remember, the entire universe exists to express the magnificence that you are. Every person, every circumstance, every experience is a gift, an opportunity to know yourself more fully, to express your true nature more completely. Embrace it all with love and gratitude, knowing that it is all you, all a reflection of your infinite eternal being. And so, my dear friends, as we bring this discourse to a close, I invite you to take a moment to feel the reality of who you truly are. Close your eyes if you wish, and allow yourself to expand beyond the confines of your physical body, beyond the limitations of your personal history, beyond even the boundaries of this present moment. Feel yourself as the vast, infinite awareness that you are. Feel the power that flows through you, the power to create worlds, to shift realities, to experience the fullness of existence in every moment. Feel the love that you are, the love that embraces all of creation, that knows no boundaries or conditions. From this expanded state, look at your life with new eyes. See the perfection in every detail, the divine order in every circumstance. Know that you have created it all, and that you have the power to create anew in every moment. Feel the freedom that comes with this knowledge, the joy of being the conscious creator of your experience. As you move forward from this moment, carry this awareness with you. Let it infuse every thought, every word, every action. Live from the state of your wishes fulfilled, not as a technique or a practice, but as the natural expression of who you truly are. For you are the blessing you seek, the love you desire, the abundance you crave. You are all of it here and now. Go forth, my beloved, and create consciously. Shift realities with joy and abandon. explore the infinite possibilities that lie within you, and always remember the truth of who you are, the one and only creator of your experience, the infinite, eternal being expressing itself in human form. You are blessed, you are loved, you are infinite. Now go and live from that truth and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. For truly the kingdom of heaven is within you, and it is from this inner realm that all outer realities spring forth. Thank you, my dear friends, for allowing me to share these truths with you. May your journey of conscious creation be filled with joy, wonder, and endless discovery. Remember, you are the miracle you seek, the power you revere, the love you long for. Embrace this truth, live from this truth, and watch as miracles unfold in every area of your life. Go now in peace and in power, knowing that you carry within you the ability to shift to any reality you desire. The choice is yours, the power is yours, the creation is yours. Use it wisely, use it lovingly, and above all, use it consciously. For in your conscious use of this power lies the key to your freedom, your fulfillment, and your ultimate realization of who you truly are. And so it is. Amen. Let us begin with the fundamental law that governs all manifestation, the law of assumption. This law states simply that your outer world reflects your inner assumptions. What you believe to be true of yourself and your world must be made manifest in your experience. This is not a theory or a pleasant suggestion. It is an immutable law. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. These words from Proverbs contain the entire secret of successful living. Your consciousness, your concept of self, determines the world in which you live. The conditions, circumstances, and events of your life are but the outpicturing of your immanent beliefs. Many of you understand this intellectually, yet you continue to witness unwanted circumstances in your lives. Why is this so? It is because understanding alone is not enough. You must apply the law, and the application begins with detachment. The nature of detachment. What do I mean by detachment? Detachment is not indifference. It is not a cold withdrawal from life or a resignation to fate. Detachment, in its spiritual sense, is the recognition that you are not bound to your current circumstances, that you are not defined by your present conditions, and that you are free to assume a new state of consciousness regardless of appearances. Detachment means releasing your grip on the how and the when of your manifestation. It means surrendering the need to control the process by which your desire will be realized. This surrender is not weakness. It is the highest form of spiritual strength. In the Bible we read, "Be still and know that I am God." This stillness is detachment. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that the creative power within you, your own wonderful human imagination, is God, and that this power, once directed consciously, will externalize your assumptions in ways that your rational mind cannot conceive. So many of you struggle because you cannot see the bridge of incidents that will lead to your desire. You worry and fret over the means, desperately seeking to manipulate external conditions. This very anxiety reveals your attachment to appearances, your bondage to what is. And as long as you remain bound to what is, you cannot experience what could be. The impediment of attachment. Attachment to outcomes, to specific means, to time frames, these are the chains that bind your creative power. When you insist that your desire must manifest in a particular way, you limit the infinite intelligence of God within you. You say, in effect, I know better than the divine wisdom how my good should come to me. Think of the farmer who plants a seed and then digs it up each day to see if it is growing. Such impatience and lack of faith in the natural process will prevent any harvest. Similarly, when you plant the seed of desire in your consciousness and then constantly unearth it through doubt, worry, and attachment to results, you interrupt the divine process of manifestation. I tell you truly, the entire universe conspires to fulfill your dominant assumptions. But this fulfillment comes through a bridge of incidents that your rational mind cannot and need not construct. Your work is not to build the bridge. Your work is to assume the end, the fulfillment, and to live in that assumption while the bridge builds itself. The process of letting go. Now, let us discuss the practical process of letting go. How does one detach from circumstances while remaining committed to a desire? The secret lies in what I call living in the end. To let go is to transfer your attention from the problem to the solution, from the lack to the fulfillment. It is to dwell mentally in the state of wish fulfilled, regardless of appearances. This dwelling is not a momentary visualization, but a sustained assumption. When you truly let go, you no longer feel the need to check on the status of your manifestation. You no longer feel anxiety about when or how it will appear. You rest in the comfortable certainty that what you have assumed in consciousness must objectify itself in your world. Consider the words of Scripture: whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. This is the essence of letting go. You pray, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you believe, live from that state as if it were already externalized, and then it manifests, becomes objectifying your world. The great obstacle to successful manifestation is the tendency to constantly check whether your desire has manifested. This checking is evidence of doubt, and doubt is a confession of attachment to current reality. To overcome this tendency, you must discipline your imagination to dwell exclusively in the end, in the state of fulfillment. The mental diet. This discipline requires what I call a mental diet. Just as you would carefully monitor what food you put into your physical body if you wish to maintain health, so must you monitor what thoughts you entertain in your mental body if you wish to manifest your desires. The mental diet consists of systematically rejecting any thought that contradicts your assumption of fulfillment. When doubts arise, and they will, you do not fight them or resist them, for what you resist persists. Instead, you simply withdraw your attention from the doubt and place it back on the assumption of fulfillment. This practice requires vigilance. The world is filled with evidence that will seem to contradict your assumption. Friends and family may tell you that your desire is impossible. Circumstances may appear to move in the opposite direction of your wish. In these moments, you must maintain your mental diet most rigorously. Remember, the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. The natural man is your senses, your rational mind that accepts current reality as final. The Spirit of God is your imagination, which can conceive of realities that transcend current appearances. You must choose which you will serve, focusing on your own path. Now we come to the third aspect of our discussion, focusing on your own path. This is perhaps the most challenging aspect of manifestation, for the world is filled with distractions, with comparisons, with the opinions and judgments of others. To focus on your own path is to recognize that your journey is unique. Your desires, your timing, your bridge of incidents cannot be compared to anyone else's. The moment you begin to compare your progress with others, you have strayed from your path. There is a wonderful passage in the Gospel of John. After Peter had received instructions from the risen Christ, he turned and saw John following them. Peter asked Jesus, "Lord, what about him?" Jesus replied, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? You follow me." This is one of the most direct instructions concerning the need to focus on your own path. What is that to you? You follow me. These words apply to each of us. The path of another, their success, their timing, their method is irrelevant to your journey. Your task is to follow the Christ within you, the God self that speaks through your desires and guides you through your imagination. When you focus on others, comparing your progress, seeking their approval, fearing their judgment, you divert precious creative energy away from your manifestation. Every ounce of attention given to the opinion of others is an ounce taken from the assumption of your wish fulfilled. The correlation between detachment, letting go, and focus. These three principles, detachment, letting go, and focusing on your own path, are not separate techniques, but different aspects of the same spiritual practice. Each reinforces and enables the others. When you truly detach from current circumstances, you naturally let go of anxiety about results. When you let go of anxiety about results, you find it easier to focus on your own path without comparing yourself to others. And when you focus on your own path without comparison, you strengthen your detachment from external validation. This virtuous cycle creates a state of consciousness that is optimally receptive to manifestation. It clears away the obstacles that have prevented the externalization of your desires. It aligns your creative power with your conscious intentions, the true nature of reality. To fully embrace these principles, you must understand the true nature of reality. The world you experience is not an objective, independent reality separate from your consciousness. It is the outpicturing of your assumptions, the projection of your beliefs. The universe is mental, declares the Hermetic principle. All that you experience is created first in consciousness and then projected outward as experience. This means that to change your world, you need not manipulate external conditions. You need only change your assumptions. This is the great liberation. You are not a victim of circumstances, but the creator of them. You are not subject to the whims of fate, but the author of your destiny. The power to transform your life lies not in coincidence, but in controlling your assumptions about yourself and your world. The practice of revision. Now I wish to share with you a powerful technique for detachment and letting go, the practice of revision. Revision is the art of reimagining past events in a way that aligns with your desired self-concept and life experience. At the end of each day, before you sleep, review the events that were unsatisfactory or that contradicted your desired state. In your imagination, revise these events. See them playing out differently in a way that aligns with your wish fulfilled. If someone was unkind to you, imagine them being courteous and respectful. If you failed at a task, imagine yourself succeeding brilliantly. If you received bad news, imagine receiving good news instead. This practice is not mere wishful thinking or denial of reality. It is the conscious application of the creative power of your imagination to rewrite the impressions in your subconscious mind. Since your subconscious accepts as true whatever you impress upon it, revision allows you to replace limiting impressions with empowering ones. Through consistent revision, you gradually detach from the limiting story of your past and create a new foundation for your future. You let go of grievances, disappointments, and failures, replacing them with experiences that support your new self-concept. The inner conversation. Another powerful practice for detachment and focusing on your path is to monitor and revise your inner conversation. Your inner conversation, the things you say to yourself, and the imaginary conversations you have with others, reveals and reinforces your true assumptions. Most people's inner conversations are filled with worries, justifications, rehearsals of grievances, and defenses against imagined criticisms. These mental dialogues keep them bound to unwanted circumstances and diverted from their true path. To transform your life, transform your inner conversation. Imagine hearing the congratulations of friends on your success. Imagine discussing your achievement as a fait accompli. Imagine the conversations that would follow naturally if your desire were already fulfilled. As you discipline your inner conversation, you will find that detachment becomes easier. You will naturally let go of anxiety about results because your mental world is already filled with the evidence of fulfillment. You will focus more easily on your own path because your inner dialogue affirms your unique journey rather than comparing it to others. The Sabbath rest. There comes a point in the manifestation process where all the work is done. You have planted the seed of assumption. You have nourished it with attention. You have protected it through mental diet. And now it must grow of its own accord. This is what I call the Sabbath rest. In the Bible, God created for 6 days and rested on the seventh, declaring his work complete and good. This is a pattern for all creation, including the creation of your desires in manifestation. There comes a time to rest, to cease all effort, to simply know that it is done. This Sabbath state is the highest form of detachment. It is the absolute confidence that your creative work is complete in consciousness and must now objectify itself in experience. In this state, there is no anxiety, no checking, no effort to make it happen. There is only the quiet knowing that what has been planted must come to harvest. Many miss their manifestations because they cannot enter this Sabbath rest. They continue to work, to effort, to manipulate conditions long after the creative act is complete. This continued effort implies doubt, and doubt negates the assumption of fulfillment. Learn to recognize when your work is done in consciousness. Learn to say, as the Christ within you says, it is finished. Then rest in that knowing, detached from appearances, letting go of control, focus solely on the truth established in your imagination. The testing of faith, the period between the planting of your assumption and its visible manifestation, is a testing of faith. During this interval, appearances may contradict your assumption. Doubts may arise. Others may question your certainty. These tests are not obstacles, but opportunities to strengthen your new consciousness. Each time you choose your assumption over appearances, you deepen your faith. Each time you detach from discouraging circumstances, you strengthen your creative power. Each time you let go of anxiety about results, you accelerate the manifestation process. Remember the words of Scripture: faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your faith, your persistent assumption that it is a means to acquire your desire. It is the substance of the desire itself, already present in consciousness, awaiting externalization. When doubts arise, do not fight them or fear them. Simply recognize them as remnants of your old consciousness, the consciousness you are transcending through your new assumption. Then gently but firmly return to your assumption, knowing that what you are conscious of being, you must become. The divine indifference. There is a state of consciousness that I call divine indifference. This is not apathy or lack of interest in your desires. It is the serene knowing that your assumption, once firmly established in consciousness, must manifest regardless of appearances or time frames. Divine indifference allows you to pursue your daily activities without anxiety, without constantly checking for evidence, without the inner tension that comes from attachment to outcomes. It is the ability to live contentedly in the present moment while knowing that your future is secure in your assumption. This state might be described as earnest expectancy without anxiety. You are expectant because you know the law must fulfill your assumption. You are without anxiety because you know the law must fulfill your assumption. The certainty removes the need for concern. When you achieve this divine indifference, you will find that manifestations come more easily and more frequently. The very detachment accelerates the process, for it removes the resistance caused by doubt, worry, and overattention. The naturalness of your desire. Another key to successful detachment is to recognize the naturalness of your desire. Your desires are not random whims or egoic fantasies. They are the voice of God within you, calling you to express more of your divine nature, to experience more of the abundance that is your birthright. When you see your desires in this light, detachment becomes easier. You no longer feel that you are grasping for something beyond your desert or fighting against the order of things. You recognize that the fulfillment of your desire is as natural as the blooming of a flower or the rising of the sun. This recognition eliminates the sense of struggle that accompanies so many people's manifestation efforts. You need not fight for your good. You need only align your consciousness with it through assumption. You need not force your desire into being. You need only provide the conditions in consciousness for its natural unfoldment. As Jesus said, consider the lilies of the field, how they grow, they toil not, neither do they spin. The lily does not strain to become a lily. It simply unfolds according to its nature. Similarly, your desires unfold naturally when you align your consciousness with their fulfillment. The state akin to sleep. There is a particular state of consciousness that facilitates detachment and the impregnation of your subconscious with new assumptions. I call this the state akin to sleep, a drowsy, receptive state where the rational mind is temporarily quieted and the subconscious is especially receptive to suggestion. In this state, which you can enter just before sleep, upon awakening, or through deliberate relaxation during the day, your imagination has direct access to the subconscious. The images and feelings you entertain in this state are accepted without the interference of the rational mind's doubts and objections. Use this state to impress your desire upon the subconscious. Feel yourself into the state of wish fulfilled. Experience in imagination the joy and gratitude of having what you desire. Then allow yourself to drift into sleep or to return to normal consciousness, knowing that the seed has been planted. This practice, performed consistently, will gradually transform your dominant assumptions about yourself and your world. As your assumptions change, your experience must change to match them. This is the law. the freedom of consciousness. The ultimate secret of detachment is the recognition that you are pure consciousness. You are not your body, your circumstances, your history, or your possessions. You are the awareness in which all these things appear. This recognition is liberation. When you know yourself as consciousness rather than content, you can change the content at will. You are no longer bound to any particular set of circumstances because you recognize that circumstances are projections of your assumptions, not independent realities. From this perspective, detachment is not something you do, it is the recognition of what you are. You are naturally detached from all conditions because you are the consciousness in which conditions appear, not the conditions themselves. This is the meaning of Jesus' statement. Be in the world, but not of the world. To be in the world is to participate in the experiences of human life. To be not of the world is to recognize that you transcend these experiences, that you are the consciousness that witnesses and creates them. The practice of I am. To strengthen this recognition of your true nature, practice what I call the I am meditation. Set aside time each day to sit quietly and focus on the feeling of pure existence, the feeling of I am. Before you identify with any particular attribute or condition, before you say I am rich or I am poor, I am successful or I am failing, there is the pure awareness of being. This awareness is your true self, your God self. As you rest in this awareness, you naturally detach from limiting conditions. You recognize that all descriptors that follow I am are assumptions that you are free to change. You are not inherently any particular condition. You are the consciousness that assumes conditions. From this state of pure awareness, you can then consciously choose the assumptions that will shape your experience. You can say with full conviction, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am fulfilled, knowing that these statements define your consciousness and therefore must define your experience. The transformation of identity. Manifestation at its core is not about acquiring things or changing circumstances. It is about transforming your identity, your concept of self. When your self-concept changes, your world must change to reflect it. Most people try to change their lives by manipulating external conditions while maintaining the same self-concept. This is why their efforts so often fail. The external always conforms to the internal. Your circumstances are the shadow cast by your concept of self. To create lasting change, you must adopt a new identity. You must see yourself as the person who already has what you desire, who already is what you wish to be. This identity shift is the essence of assumption. When you truly assume a new identity, detachment from old conditions happens naturally. You no longer worry about how or when your desire will manifest, because in consciousness, from the perspective of your new identity, it has already manifested. You are simply waiting for the outer to catch up with the inner. The persistence of assumption. The final key to successful manifestation is persistence in your assumption. This does not mean effortful striving or constant affirmation. It means returning to your assumption whenever you become aware that your thoughts have strayed from it. Your old beliefs and assumptions have momentum. They have been reinforced over years or decades of thinking, and they will not be replaced by a single session of imagining. You must persist in your new assumption until it becomes as natural and habitual as your old assumption once was. This persistence is not a burden, but a practice. Like learning any new skill, it requires attention at first, but eventually becomes second nature. There will come a time when your new assumption is so deeply established that you no longer need to consciously maintain it. It will have become your dominant belief, your natural way of being. Until that time, gently but firmly return to your assumption whenever you notice that your thoughts or feelings contradict it. Do not chastise yourself for lapses. Simply correct your course. The more consistently you maintain your assumption, the sooner it will manifest in experience. Conclusion, the promise fulfilled. My dear friends, I have shared with you tonight the great secret of manifestation, detachment, letting go, and focusing on your own path. This secret is not new. It has been taught by spiritual masters throughout the ages in various forms and languages. Jesus taught it when he said, Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Buddha taught it when he identified attachment as the source of suffering and detachment as the path to liberation. Krishna taught it in the Bhagavad Gita when he instructed Arjuna to perform his duty without concern for the fruits of his action. This teaching transcends all religious and philosophical boundaries because it is not a belief but a law, as immutable as gravity. When you assume a state in consciousness and detach from appearances, that state must objectify itself in your experience. This is not magic or mysticism. It is the creative process by which all experience comes into being. I challenge you to test this law in your own life. Select a desire, something you truly want to be, do, or have. Formulate a clear assumption that would be true if this desire were fulfilled. Then live from that assumption while detaching from appearances, letting go of anxiety about results, and focusing on your own path without comparison to others. Do this consistently, and I promise you that your assumption must harden into fact. The seed planted in consciousness must grow into manifestation. The word spoken in the silence of assumption must become flesh in the world of form. Remember always, all things are possible to him that believeth. Your belief, your assumption maintained with detachment and persistence, is the creative power that shapes your world. Use this power consciously, and there are no limits to what you can create in your life. Go now in peace, dwelling in the certainty that your desires are already fulfilled in consciousness and must by law externalize themselves in your experience. God bless you, my friends, and remember, imagination creates reality. What it truly means when we say, everyone lives on the surface, it may appear to be a statement of abandonment, of loss of inevitable solitude. But I tell you, it is a statement of profound truth about the nature of our reality and our journey through this world. You see, in this world of Caesar, in this realm of shadows and reflections, people come and go. Relationships form and dissolve. Even the most steadfast companions will, at some point, depart, if not through choice, then through the natural course of life and death. This is the way of the world we perceive with our physical senses. But I am here to remind you of a greater truth. You are never truly alone, for you are one with the divine, with the creative power of the universe, with what I often refer to as your wonderful human imagination. This is the God within you, and it is ever present, all-powerful, and the true source of all that you experience in your world. When we say everyone leaves, we are acknowledging the transient nature of our external experiences. We are recognizing that all things in this world of Caesar are temporary, fleeting. But in this recognition, we open ourselves to a profound realization. The only constant in your life is you, not the you of flesh and bone, but the divine you, the I am that is your true self. This I am is the God within you. It is the creative power that shapes your reality. It is the awareness that observes your thoughts, feelings, and experiences, and it is the only thing that truly never leaves you. Everything else, every person, every circumstance, every material possession is but a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. Now, you might be thinking, but Neville, this sounds isolating. Are you saying we should push everyone away? No, my dear friends, that is not what I'm suggesting at all. Instead, I'm inviting you to shift your perspective, to realize that your true power, your true essence, lies within you and not in the external world. When you understand this, when you truly grasp that you are one with the divine creative power of the universe, you will never feel alone again. You will realize that you have within you everything you need to not just survive, but to thrive, to create, to manifest the life of your dreams. Let me share with you a simple truth that has transformed countless lives. Your imagination is the God within you. It is the creative power through which all things are possible. When you learn to harness this power, when you learn to live from the end, to experience in your imagination the reality you desire, you become the master of your own destiny. You see, the world around you, with all its people and circumstances, is nothing more than a mirror reflecting back to you your own inner state. When you change within, the reflection must change without. This is the law, and it is immutable. So when we speak of learning to survive alone, what we're really talking about is learning to tap into the infinite power within you. It's about realizing that you are the operant power in your world. You are the one who decides what your experience will be, regardless of external circumstances. Now, let's delve deeper into this concept of being alone. In the world of Caesar, being alone often carries negative connotations. We're told that humans are social creatures, that we need others to thrive. And while it's true that relationships and connections can enrich our lives, it's crucial to understand that true fulfillment, true peace, true power comes from within. When you learn to be comfortable in your own company, when you learn to rely on your own inner resources, you become invincible. No external circumstance can shake you because you know that you carry within you the power to change any situation, to create any reality you desire. This is what it means to truly survive alone. It means to stand firm in the knowledge of who you really are, a divine being, one with God, possessing infinite creative power. It means to live from that state of awareness, to operate in the world from that unshakable foundation. But how do we achieve this state? How do we come to this realization and begin to live from it? The answer, my friends, lies in the practice of what I call the law. This law is simple yet profound. Imagine the reality you desire, feel it as real, and it must come to pass in your external world. You see, your imagination is not some fanciful, idle daydreaming. It is the very workshop of creation. When you imagine, you are engaging the God within you. You are exercising your divine creative power. And when you couple that imagination with feeling, when you feel the reality of what you've imagined, you set in motion the forces that will bring that imagined reality into your physical experience. This is how you not only survive but thrive when everyone leaves. You realize that you never needed anyone else to complete you, to fulfill you, to make you whole. You always had within you everything you needed. The people in your life, the relationships, the connections, these are all wonderful expressions of your inner state, reflections of your consciousness. But they are not the source of your happiness, your success, your fulfillment. You are the source. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Imagine a young woman who has just gone through a difficult breakup. In the world of Caesar, she might feel lost, alone, incomplete. She might believe that her happiness walked out the door with her former partner. But if this young woman understands the law, if she grasped the truth of her own divine nature, she would see the situation very differently. Instead of focusing on the loss, on the absence, she would turn within. She would use her imagination to create the reality she desires. Perhaps she imagines herself confident, joyful, and fulfilled. Perhaps she feels the reality of being in a loving, supportive relationship. Or perhaps she imagines herself thriving in her career, surrounded by friends, living a life of purpose and passion. The key is this: whatever she imagines and feels as real must by law be reflected in her external reality. This is not wishful thinking or positive affirmations. This is the operation of cosmic law. This is the creative power of God, the human imagination at work. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, isn't this selfish? Shouldn't we be focusing on others, on building relationships and connections? And to this, I say, there is no greater service you can offer to the world than to realize your own divine nature, to manifest your highest self, to live from the state of the person you wish to be. You see, when you do this, when you live from the end, from the state of your wish fulfilled, you automatically uplift everyone around you. You become a living example of what's possible. Your very being becomes an inspiration, a beacon of light in the world. Moreover, when you understand that everyone in your world is you pushed out, a reflection of your own consciousness, you realize that by changing yourself, by living from your higher state, you are quite literally changing the world. You are improving every relationship, every interaction, every circumstance in your life. This, my dear friends, is the true meaning of learning to survive alone. It's not about isolation or self-sufficiency in the worldly sense. It's about realizing your oneness with God, your true identity as the operant power in your world. It's about understanding that everything you seek, love, success, fulfillment, peace, is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Let's explore this concept further through the lens of various life situations. Consider the realm of career and success. Many people believe that their success depends on external factors, on knowing the right people, on being in the right place at the right point, on having the right qualifications or background. But I tell you, true success comes from within. When you imagine yourself successful, when you feel the reality of being the person you wish to be in your career, you align yourself with that state. You begin to think, speak, and act from that state of success. And inevitably, the outer world must reorganize itself to match your inner assumption. I've seen this principle at work countless times. I remember a young man who came to one of my lectures. He was struggling in his career, feeling stuck and unappreciated. I advised him to imagine himself in the position he desired, to feel the satisfaction and confidence of being successful in his field. At first he was skeptical, But Neville, he said, I don't have the experience or the connections. How can simply imagining make a difference? I told him to persist in his imaginal act, to make it so real that he could taste it, feel it, live it in his mind. Weeks later, he returned with a beaming smile. Not only had he been promoted to the very position he had imagined, but opportunities he had never even considered had begun to flow into his life. You see, when he changed his inner state, when he began to live from the end in his imagination, the outer world had no choice but to conform to his new self-concept. This, my friends, is the power you hold within you. This is how you thrive when it seems like everyone has left. When the outer world seems unsupportive or even hostile to hope, you turn within, you imagine the reality you desire, and you live from that state. Now let's turn our attention to the realm of relationships, for this is often where the fear of being alone is most keenly felt. Many of you may have experienced the pain of loss, the ache of heartbreak, the fear of abandonment. And in those moments, it can feel as though a vital part of you has been torn away. But I am here to remind you of a profound truth. No one can complete you because you are already complete. You are whole, perfect, and complete in your divine nature. The love you seek, the companionship you desire, these are all within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. When you understand this, when you live from this truth, you free yourself from the desperate need for others to fill a perceived void in your life. You become magnetic, attracting into your life people and relationships that reflect your inner state of wholeness and love. Let me share with you the story of a dear friend who grasped this truth and transformed her life. She had been through a series of unfulfilling relationships, each ending in heartbreak and disappointment. She came to me feeling depleted, wondering if she was destined to be alone forever. I asked her a simple question. Who would you be if you were in the perfect relationship? How would you feel? How would you carry yourself? I encouraged her to imagine herself as that person, to feel the joy, the confidence, the love that she would feel in her ideal relationship. At first, she found it challenging. The pain of her past experiences kept intruding on her imaginal scene. But I urged her to persist, to make her imaginal act more real than her memories of past disappointments. Gradually, she began to feel a shift. She noticed that she was becoming more confident, more joyful, more at peace with herself. She no longer felt the desperate need to be in a relationship. And then something remarkable happened. Not only did she begin to attract healthier, more fulfilling relationships into her life, but she realized that she had fallen in love with herself. She had discovered the wellspring of love within her own being. She understood, perhaps for the first time, that she was complete in herself. This, my dear friends, is the liberating truth I want you to grasp tonight. When you realize that you are complete in yourself, when you tap into the infinite love and power within you, you free yourself from the fear of being alone. You learn not just to survive, but to thrive in any circumstance. Now, let's address another aspect of our topic, the fear of death. For in the world of Caesar, death represents the ultimate leaving, the final solitude. Many live in fear of this moment, seeing it as the end of everything, the ultimate separation. But I tell you, death is but a transition, a shift in consciousness. When you understand your true nature as a spiritual being, as one with God, you realize death holds no power over you. Your true self, your I am, is eternal and unchanging. In fact, I encourage you to practice dying daily. By this, I mean to die to your old concept of self, to let go of limiting beliefs and negative self-images. Each night as you go to sleep, imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. Feel the reality of your wish fulfilled. Then, as you awake each morning, carry that new self-concept with you into your day. This practice of dying daily to your old self and being reborn to your ideal self is the key to personal transformation. It is how you survive and thrive in a world where everything is constantly changing, where people come and go, where nothing in the world of Caesar is permanent. Remember, my friends, that your true home is not in this world of shadows and reflections. Your true home is in the realm of imagination, in the kingdom of God within you. When you live from this awareness, you are never truly alone, never truly abandoned, never truly at the mercy of external circumstances. Let's now turn our attention to the practical application of these principles in your daily life. How do you begin to live from this state of divine awareness? How do you tap into the God within you and create the life you desire? The first step is to still your mind, to quiet the incessant chatter of your physical senses and your rational mind. This is why I often emphasize the importance of meditation and contemplation. Find time each day to sit in silence, to turn your attention inward. As you sit in silence, bring to mind the reality you wish to experience. See it clearly in your mind's eye. But don't stop at mere visualization. Engage all your senses. If you're imagining a successful career, feel the satisfaction of achievement. Hear the congratulations of your colleagues. Feel the weight of responsibility and the thrill of new challenges. If you're imagining a loving relationship, feel the warmth of your partner's embrace. Hear the words of love and support. Feel the deep sense of connection and understanding. Whatever you're imagining, make it as real and as vivid as possible. And here's the crucial part. Feel the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the sense of accomplishment, as if what you're imagining is already your reality. This feeling, this emotion, is the secret to effective manifestation. For you see, the subconscious mind, which is one with the universal creative force, doesn't distinguish between what you're experiencing in your physical reality and what you're experiencing vividly in your imagination. When you feel the reality of your imagined state, you impress that reality upon your subconscious mind, and it begins to work tirelessly to bring that reality into your physical experience. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, I've tried this, and it didn't work. I imagined what I wanted, but nothing changed to this. I say persistence is key. You must return to your imaginal scene night after night, impressing it upon your subconscious mind until it feels more real to you than your current physical reality. Remember, you are undoing years, perhaps decades of negative thinking and limiting beliefs. You are reversing the momentum of your old thought patterns. This takes time and consistent effort. But I assure you, if you persist, if you remain faithful to your imaginal act, it must bear fruit in your physical reality. Moreover, you must learn to live from the state of your wish fulfilled. This means aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with the person you are imagining yourself to be. If you're imagining financial abundance, start treating yourself as if you are already wealthy. If you're imagining a loving relationship, start treating yourself and others with the love and respect you envision in your ideal relationship. This is what I mean when I speak of living from the end. You don't wait for your outer world to change before you change your inner state. You change your inner state, and your outer world must follow suit. Now let's address a common concern that arises when we speak of creating our own reality. Many worry, if I'm creating my reality, does that mean I'm to blame for all the negative things in my life? And to this I say, let go of the concepts of blame and fault. These are limiting beliefs that keep you trapped in a cycle of guilt and self-recrimination. Instead, embrace the empowering truth that if you can imagine it, you can create it. Your past thoughts and beliefs may have contributed to your current circumstances, but your future is determined by your present thoughts and beliefs. You have the power right now, in this very moment, to begin creating the life you desire. This understanding is particularly powerful when it comes to healing from past hurts and traumas. Many of you may have experienced abandonment, betrayal, or loss. These experiences can leave deep scars, making it difficult to trust, to open your heart, to believe in the possibility of love and connection. But I tell you, no matter what you've experienced in the past, you have the power to heal. You have the power to rewrite your story, to create a new narrative for your life. And it all begins in your imagination. Imagine yourself healed, whole, and complete. Feel the peace that comes with forgiveness, the joy that comes with self-love, the confidence that comes with knowing your own worth. Live from this state and watch as your outer world begins to reflect your inner healing. Remember, everyone who has ever hurt you, everyone who has ever left you, was simply playing a role in the story you were telling. As you change your story, as you revise your concept of self, the characters in your life will either change to match your new narrative or they will exit stage left, making room for new characters who align with your new self-concept. This is the true meaning of learning to survive alone. It's about recognizing that you are the author of your life story. You are the creator of your reality. You have within you everything you need to create the life you desire. Now, let's talk about the concept of revision, a powerful technique that can help you reshape your past and consequently your present and future. Revision is not about denying what happened, but about reinterpreting events in a way that empowers you and aligns with your desired reality. For instance, if you've experienced a painful breakup, instead of replaying the hurt and betrayal in your mind if you have seen, imagine the relationship ending amicably with both parties wishing each other well. Feel the peace and closure that comes with this revised scenario. Or if you've lost a job, instead of dwelling on the feelings of rejection and failure, revise the scene. Imagine your former employer congratulating you on moving on to bigger, better opportunities. Feel the excitement and optimism of new beginnings. By revising past events in your imagination, you're not changing what physically happened, but you are changing your emotional response to those events. And since your emotional state is what creates your reality, this revision can have a profound impact on your present and future experiences. This practice of revision is particularly powerful when it comes to healing feelings of abandonment or betrayal. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of others' actions, you begin to see yourself as the powerful creator of your own experience. You realize that no one can truly abandon you because you are never alone. You are always one with the divine, with the God within you. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be feeling as you hear these words. You might be thinking, Neville, this all sounds wonderful, but it feels selfish. Shouldn't we be focusing on helping others, on making the world a better place? To this I say, there is no greater service you can offer to the world than to realize your own divine nature and to live a nature. When you tap into the God within you, when you begin to create consciously and deliberately, you become a beacon of light in the world. Your very being uplifts those around you. Moreover, when you understand that everyone and everything in your world is you pushed out, a reflection of your own consciousness, you realize that by changing yourself, you are changing the world. As you cultivate love, peace, and abundance within yourself, you naturally extend these qualities to everyone in your world. This is the true meaning of being your brother's keeper. It's not about trying to change others or fix their problems. It's about embodying the change you wish to see in the world. It's about living from the state of the person you wish to be. And in doing so, inspiring others to recognize their own divine nature. Let me share with you a powerful practice that can help you embody this understanding. Each night, before you go to sleep, I want you to imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. See yourself living the life you desire, embodying the qualities you admire. But don't stop there. As you imagine this ideal version of yourself, extend that same love, success, and fulfillment to everyone in your world. See everyone around you thriving, joyful, and fulfilled. Feel the happiness that comes from knowing that as you prosper, so does everyone in your world. This practice not only accelerates your own manifestation process, but also cultivates a deep sense of connection and oneness with all of life. You begin to understand experientially that there is no separation, that we are all one in consciousness. As you continue this practice, you'll find that your fear of being alone, your fear of abandonment begins to dissolve. You realize that you can never truly be alone because you are one with all of life. You are one with God, the creative power of the universe. Now let's delve deeper into the concept of states of consciousness, for this understanding is crucial to mastering the art of conscious creation. Every experience you have, every circumstance in your life, is the result of the state of consciousness you're occupying. A state is simply a mindset, a way of being. It's the sum total of your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings about yourself and the world. When you change your state, when you shift your consciousness to embody different thoughts, beliefs, and feelings, your experience must change to match your new state. This is why it's so important to mind your inner conversations, to be aware of the thoughts you're thinking and the emotions you're feeling throughout your seal. These inner conversations, these habitual thought patterns, are creating your reality. If you find yourself constantly thinking thoughts of lack, of loneliness, of abandonment, you're occupying a state that will continue to create experiences that match those thoughts. But the moment you shift your consciousness, the moment you begin to think thoughts of abundance, of connection, of divine companionship, you move into a new state. And your reality must shift to reflect this new state. This understanding is particularly powerful when it comes to dealing with the fear of being alone. You see, loneliness is a state of consciousness. It's not determined by your external circumstances, but by your inner perception of those circumstances. You can be in a room full of people and feel desperately alone if you're occupying a state of loneliness. Conversely, you can be physically alone and feel deeply connected and fulfilled if you're occupying a state of divine companionship, of oneness with God. The key then is to consciously choose the state you wish to occupy. And you do this through your imagination. By imagining yourself in the state you desire, by feeling the reality of that state, you begin to shift your consciousness. And as your consciousness shifts, your reality must follow suit. Let me give you a practical exercise to help you master this skill of state shifting. Choose a state you wish to embody. Perhaps it's confidence, or love, or success. Now, close your eyes and imagine a scene that implies you are already living from that state. Make it as vivid and as real as possible. For instance, if you're imagining the state of confidence, you might see yourself giving a powerful presentation to a room full of attentive listeners. Feel the confidence coursing through your body. Hear the applause at the end of your talk. Feel the satisfaction of knowing you've made a positive impact. Now here's the crucial part. Carry this feeling with you throughout your day. When you interact with others, when you go about your tasks, do so from this state of confidence. Speak, think, and act as the confident person you've imagined yourself to be. At first, this might feel like you're pretending or playing a role, but I assure you, as you persist in this practice, it will become more and more natural. You'll find yourself spontaneously thinking and acting from this new state. And as you do, you'll see your outer world begin to reflect your inner state. This practice of consciously choosing and occupying states is the key to mastering your life experience. It's how you learn not just to survive, but to thrive, regardless of external circumstances. It's how you become the conscious creator of your reality. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when we discuss these principles. Many ask, Neville, if I can create my reality through my imagination, why do bad things stay? Why do I still experience loss and pain? To this I say, remember that you are in the process of awakening to your true nature as a divine creator. You are learning to use the power of your imagination consciously and deliberately. But for much of your life, you've been creating unconsciously, reacting to circumstances rather than consciously choosing your state. Moreover, you are surrounded by the thoughts and beliefs of others, by societal conditioning that often runs counter to these principles. It takes time and practice to overcome these influences and to consistently create from a place of conscious awareness. But here's the empowering truth. Even when challenging circumstances arise, you have the power to choose how you respond. You have the power to revise your experience, to find the gift in every situation, to use every experience as an opportunity for growth and expansion. This is what it means to be the operant power in your world. It doesn't mean that you'll never face challenges or that everything will always go smoothly. It means that you have the power to choose your response to every situation, to create meaning from every experience, to use every circumstance as a stepping stone to your desired reality. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to leave you with a powerful reminder. You are never truly alone. The God within you, your own wonderful human imagination, is your constant companion, your unfailing friend, your source of infinite possibility. When you fully grasp this truth, when you live from this understanding, you free yourself from the fear of abandonment, from the anxiety of being alone. You realize that everything you seek, love, companionship, success, fulfillment, is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. So, my dear friends, as you go forth from this place, I encourage you to practice living from the state of your wish fulfilled. Imagine the reality you desire. Feel it as real and persist in that feeling. Know that as you do this, you are engaging the creative power of the universe. You are activating the God within you. Remember, everyone lives in the world of Caesar, but in the world of spirit, in the kingdom of God within you, you are never alone. You are one with the source of all creation, one with the power that shapes universes. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding. And watch as your world transforms to reflect the divine being that you truly are. Thank you, and may God bless you all.